afternoon. A warm welcome to you on this gorgeous Sunday afternoon. I hope you're having a great weekend. So today we're going to dive into some inspiration. We're going to take a moment to look at your life, your career, and what you want to do. And thank goodness this is being recorded because I know it's something you're going to want to come back to. So every month I'm going to be doing a mentoring session, touching into things that I think are really important, that for me have been a game changer. So if you didn't see last month's, check out what type of hairdresser are you? We explored the puppet, that client's pulling the strings, the pedal stool, the client has expectations that are really grand, the technician, the artist, and the entertainer. So if you haven't seen that one, do check it out. And by the way, we have a quiz that you can actually find out what is your style. Why is that important? It's very important to know your style and do that with awareness. So thank you so much for joining me today. So let's dive into today's subject, which I'm super excited about. It's what is your destiny for 2024? So let's look at this. I hope you will have a pen and paper handy. I hope that you are able to take some screen captures today so that we can really look at how we can invent our life for 2024. So the first thing is, do you want to be known as best in town? Is that important to you? If it's important, then clearly you've got to work to your skills and always elevate those skills to be the top 5% within your business. And that is a strategy. The next thing we're going to look at is sales increase. Do you want 2024 to be about a big sales increase, anything from 20 to 40%? And I've been very fortunate over this last year to have worked with hairdressers who've not only increased their business by 20%, they've gone to 40%. So I know it is doable with, you got it, a strategy. The next thing we want to look at is 2024, all about you upping your game in the technical area. You want to increase your technical skills. You want to have more efficiency in what you do, and you'd like to expand your repertoire. Is that a focus? Very important to have a focus, to get one thing going and one thing right before you expand. So from this list we're going through, I want you to see, yeah, Viv, that really talks to me right now. I really like that. Creativity. Do you find that you've got into a little bit of a rut? Are you yearning for something new, looking for a point of difference? You came into this business to be creative, and maybe the routine of life has just become a little bit mundane, and you're thinking, gosh, I've lost connection with my creative self. So let's look at that today. Social media. I know many of us have a love-hate relationship, don't we? We love it, but we kind of hate it at the same time. It pulls so much of our energy. There's a lot to compete with out there, and it can become the comparison game where you just think, oh my gosh, I can never compete with that, so I won't even bother, right? I've been there, I've done that. But is social media part of a strategy for you to reach your destiny for 2024? Awards. Some of you watching may be thinking, yeah, Viv, I want to get an award. I've always wanted to do that. Is that important to you? So as we look at that and we go into the world that I've just come out of, and I'm going to go to full screen so you can really appreciate this. We just recently did a photo shoot, and this is the beautiful work of photographer Joseph Cartwright. We did a photographic workshop. I had incredible talent. So the last image that you just saw was Julie. This is Kelly's beautiful work. This is Sarah, Anakin, and we had some amazing experiences. We worked together as a team in the studio. So these wonderful creative hairdressers wanted to do an award-winning collection. And it's our hope and our desire that it does get to be that award-winning collection. So for them, some of them showed up wanting to just expand their creativity. Some of them just wanted to have some fun, do something different. Some of them wanted to understand what it takes to build a collection. Each stylist came with a very different purpose, and it was absolutely magical to work with them. So it's for you 2024, all about having more fun. Is that on your list? Do you know they say that people who increase their fun category within any work sphere are over 20% more creative and more productive? So what happened to your fun factor? Let's look at that. The next thing we want to look at is, do you want to be mentored? Clearly, when you have someone to support you, guide you, someone who's been there, done it, and got that t-shirt, you're going to get there a whole lot faster. So at this point in my career, I love to mentor people. I like to find talent and ask them, where are you now? Where do you want to go? And support them on that amazing journey. So the next thing we want to look at is, what's your educational plan for 2024? It shouldn't be accidental. It should be intentional. I always say, if you can put 10% aside of your earnings towards education, whether it's in the business or outside the business, you know you've got one guarantee: continuous growth. And one of the most important things for human beings is that sense of growing, that sense of evolving. So that's very, very important. The other thing that some of you may be interested in is, Viv, I'm working so hard. I don't want to work as hard. I want to work less and make more money. And again, I've trained hairdressers to do exactly that, which has been amazing. They've been able to do the same amount of clients in less time. I've had people that have actually reduced their days, increased their earnings, so they're actually making the same money as they did in 5 days, now working 3. So again, it's a strategy, isn't it? Or a hair hobby. I have hair hobbies. That means I do creative things and I don't get paid for it. And you may be going, what, Viv? Trust me, I've worked in New York Fashion Week, London Fashion Week, Paris Fashion Week. I think only a few of those shows I ever got paid. So what does that mean? It was a hobby. It was hard work, let me tell you that. So let's look at this. It's a great visual. So you can see this lovely yacht, which I kind of like to be on, is held in place by an anchor. That tiny, tiny anchor holds that yacht in place and stops it from drifting. So for some of us, we need an anchor. We need to go, right, I'm not going to be bouncing around from one shiny idea to the other. I need to anchor, stay focused, and go. For some of us, that anchor could be so deeply trenched in the ground, we can't lift it up to get going and move to the next place. So what is it for you? Because it can either create stability or you can get stuck. I hope that makes sense. Do you find that interesting? Yeah. Thanks for the thumbs up. So success leaves clues. And I love this quote by one of my heroes, Tony Robbins. It's in the moments of decision that your destiny is shaped. Choose well. And that to me is such a profound statement. So choose well. So why are we talking about this today? As we say goodbye to 2023 and we look at what's going to happen, it's a time of reflection. It's a time of celebration. It's a time of planning. Now, I know you're all super busy. I know that. But we have to carve out time for ourselves, because if we don't give to ourselves, we can't give to others. And as you all know, we're in the giving business, aren't we? So I want to share this with you. These are 3 circles that need to unite in order for us to reach our true, authentic destiny. The first thing is, how much do you love what you're doing right now? If you gave it like a scale of 1 to 10, are you hitting 10? Are you a 5? Where are you in the love, the passion of what you do as a hairdresser? So that's the first thing to give a score, from 1 to 10. And please pop it down in the chat as to where you think you are. The next thing is, are you really playing to your skills? Now, sometimes people show up and I see them with a natural talent and they're not pushing that natural talent. So they're just letting their natural gifts flow versus having a natural talent and pushing it and pushing it and pushing it. So I know in our industry, especially because we're in the fashion business, it's always evolving, it's always changing. So we're always having to update our skills. So where do you sit with there? And then, of course, finally, our compensation, the compensation for what we do. Are we being paid enough? Are we underselling ourselves? What do we believe about our skills? It's a good question, isn't it? So when these 3 are in alignment, that is our destiny. But I'm going to give you a really kind of fun example of when destiny can take you in a different direction. And I'm going to use my own personal story for this. So I hope you're ready. So as a youngster, I loved to dance. So this is Viv on the stage. I won a trophy in my little tutu, and I thought I was the it girl, right? A little girl. But my love was dance. And as much as I loved dance over the years, even into my mature years, this is me not so long ago dancing with United States ballroom champion. He made me look really good. Even though that was something that I loved it. I had some skill, but never enough skill to be a professional to make money out of it. So it was never meant to be my career destiny. Now, why do I use that example? We have an editorial course, and in our editorial course, we meet hairdressers that either want to expand into the bridal business, that's a good money-making machine, or they may want to dive into the editorial world, which is a very challenging world to step into. So as much as they want to do that, they may have a love for it, they may have skills for it, but can they get compensated for it? And do they have what it takes to really toughen up and be successful in that world? So clearly, I love my dance. I had some skills, but not enough to ever make a full-time living as a dancer. It was never meant to be my destiny. So let's take that one stage further. Here, I love horses. I love, love, love horses. And as much as I love horses and as much as they're very important in my life, again, when we go to the 3 circles and we look at those, yeah, I love horses. Yeah, I have some skill in riding. I've never been compensated for it. It's not meant to be my destiny. So for some of you, you may be saying, well, Viv, I'd love to teach. I'd like to kind of be in the salon, but I want to teach. I want to do editorial. I want to do all these other things. So what we have to do is we have to take a baby step, test the water, go and assist somebody who's doing it, and look to see if the love is there, if you do a lot of it, if the skill is there, and is there a place to make money in that particular genre. So to me, that's the destiny. So I want you to do the destiny check. Check your love and passion. Check your skills. Where are there any holes in the bucket? And check the value of what you're earning today and take a hard look at that. Is that helpful, guys? Is it helpful? I hope so. So what we're looking at is the importance of that work-life balance. Now, no one all those years ago said to me, Viv, you've got to balance your life. All I knew was work. I worked for Vidal Sassoons and Trevor Sorbie, 2 of the most important companies in the world at that time. And to just work for them was such an honor. And so it demanded so much of me that relationships, my lifestyle were all put on the back burner because work came first. It wasn't a conscious choice. It just snowballed and happened. Did I sacrifice? Yeah. Did I know I was sacrificing? A little bit. And anything that is not where you're in that sweet spot is very hard to sustain and grow. So it was quite a challenge to live in that place. So today, what we're going to do is design your lifestyle first and then reverse your career into it. So what we're going to do, and it's a really fun game, and you can come back to this video again and again and just tune in. And what we're going to do is think about our lifestyle. Think about the lifestyle that we want and how we're going to reverse the career into it. Why is this important? Well, today, more than ever, if we have something we can sustain, we can grow within that space, not have resentment, not be like too tough on ourselves. And that's how we can absolutely flourish. Does that make sense to you all? Just let me know in the chat if that makes sense, right? So that's really, really important. So the next thing we're going to look at is that you are the director and the producer of your life. So as the director and as the producer, you also have to say, what are my non-negotiables? Like when you have your list of want-to-dos, you've always got to think about the cost and the price for those want-to-dos. What is that challenge, right? And so that to me is very, very, very important as we navigate through there. And guys, I had the best time working on that gentleman's hair. I mean, Sometimes you're so close and yet so far. He was a cutie, right? Italian. Fabulous. Fabulous. Anyway, so I'm getting sidetracked by a gorgeous man. Really, Vivienne, just give me a slap, right? The other thing that I think we have to consider is for myself, my world in hairdressing has always been a career. So I'm going to ask you, what is your hairdressing lifestyle? Is it a career? Is it a job? Meaning that it's a means to an end. It pays the bills. It's a means to the end. And I have met some hairdressers where it's simply a hobby. But I would tend to think most of you who've shown up here today would say, no, Viv, it is a career. So this is what we're going to do. We're going to do it, and this is one of my most favorite exercises. What you're going to need are Post-it notes and a blank wall. And what we're going to do is start to be the designer and start to be the producer. No judgment, no what if or it can't. Put all of that to the side. We're going to play what if. And let's get creative, right? So we started up with a framework of deciding, right, I've got to connect love, skill, and compensation. They have to interlock. I don't want to be a starving artist. I don't want to make money and be bored. And I want to be well compensated for what I do, right? We started there. And I showed you the example of me in the hobby versus an occupation. In fact, I chose two hobbies that are so expensive. You know, that dress that I wore for the ballroom dancing, we won't go back there, but the dress that I wore for that ballroom dancing, it cost like about $2,000. Then I had to go and get a fake suntan. And I looked like a big baked bean. And I'll just have to go back and show you. So for those of you who just came in a bit late, you can see what I'm talking about. But I mean, here it is. That was $2,000, that dress. Ridiculous, right? And believe it or not, I've got a suntan. Even more ridiculous, right? So clearly, I did not play the role of the law of compensation at all. So what we're going to do right now is look at Post-it notes. So this is it. This is really cool. I hope you're ready. And as I said before, do make sure you take screen captures so that you'll be good to go, right? So this is what we're going to do. I've just divided it into 4 categories. And clearly, you can put as many categories as you want in here. Relationship, your wealth, your career path, and your health. 4 categories. Let's keep it simple to start with. So from here, I'm going to give you an example of how to play this game to get what you want. Does that sound interesting? Yeah? Yeah, it's good? All right. So let's talk about this. I'm just going to go to full screen so you can really see it. Let's take health, for example. So I'm using myself as a reference point here, and I'm looking at fitness, my spiritual practice. I'm looking at rest. I'm looking at growth. I'm looking at balance. I'm looking at self-improvement. And I am sure you could add other virtues and qualities in here that would be vital to you as health. So I'm just taking health as a category. So if I'm going to then subdivide this in, I'm going to take, okay, health, and I'm going to look at fitness. Well, and the first thing I'm going to say is, well, why? Why is this important? For myself, emotional, physical well-being, lower stress. And clearly, I could go on with more and more things in here, like more energy, more vital, etc. But underneath that is my how. So we have to start with our why, and then we go to the how. And that's really important. If you want anything to stick, the motivation behind anything you do is the why. That why is the desire. The why is the hunger for that. I just finished 6 days with Tony Robbins, and I'm sure many of you know who he is. It's unbelievable. And I couldn't believe how we started at 10:30 in the morning and we were still going strong at 3 a.m. Now, I went through highs and lows and highs and lows. And I thought, wow, this is like over 18 hours of this. And my why was so big, I didn't care if we did 24 hours. For 6 days, that's pretty intense, right? But it was worth it because I gave so much to myself, and I pray I'll have so much more to give to you which is the most important thing of all, to give back. So when I'm looking at this now, I'm looking at my health and my wellness, etc., it's not just enough to say, oh yeah, I'll do yoga. I must know my why, then I must know my how. So it would be for me, yoga, 3 times a week. Now I'm breaking it down. Maybe it's 1 day at a class. Maybe it's 2 days a week following something on YouTube. But it's not just saying why I'm doing it. It's saying how I'm going to do it with a commitment. Now, the important thing about this, with everything we're doing today together, whatever you're learning right now, if you don't make notes or share this with somebody else and have a conversation around it, I promise you in 2 days' time, you would have forgotten 80% of what I'm showing right now will be gone. So the power of retaining information is to write it down, to take some screen captures, to say what applies to you in your life, so that it's not just entertainment, because clearly there's better ways to be entertained today than watching me. I hope that I'm inspiring you and helping you. And I hope there's a little bit of entertainment there, but there's something bigger here. I'm looking for transformation. I'm not looking just to give you information. I'm looking for something that's transformative that I've been able to use in my own life. Does that make sense to you all? So what we're doing here, as I mentioned, is we're doing our post-it notes. So when we're looking at this, we have a plan. So for example, the career path, it could be, well, what do I want to achieve? What are my recognitions that I want in my career path? What kind of progress do I want in my career path? What kind of education do I want in order to get to my goal? And I'm just giving you examples for your post-it exercise. Wealth, it could be the material possessions. You know, you want a new toy, a new car, a new something. It could be something in your home, travel. I've got home twice there. Home. It's obviously 2 homes. Savings and security. So, and then we go into relationships, you know, whether it be your family, your friends, your clients, and Vivienne must not ever forget her pet, who's very, very large. But what we're doing is we are breaking this up to the point that when we're done, we can post-it note in colors. And what we can do is say, right, these are my categories. So I'm going to take all of my yellow related to my family, my friends, the things I want to achieve. I want 2 dogs. I want 1 cat. I know, whatever it is. It's not only the what you want, it's why you want it and how you'll get there. So each post-it note has its own color, and each post-it note should have its own theme. So you write down as many ideas that you have until you have no more left. So I've given you examples today for the wealth, the fitness and the health, the career path. Now you take this and you do something magical with it. So I hope that makes sense for you all. So again, this is about design lifestyle and reverse the career into it. So I have teachings on this that are, you know, over an hour long, where we really dive into this. And in a lot of my training that I do, yeah, I teach you how to do hair, but I teach you much more than that. I teach you to have a very much richer life as a creative, as an artist. So that to me is also very important. So going back to these post-it notes, if you're going to take wealth, you're going to say, right, well, Viv, I want to earn a 6-figure income. I want to earn 150,000 next year. Right, okay. So in order to get that, these other 3 categories here, will they be compromised? Because what you focus on expands, which then puts other things a little bit more into the shadow. So if you're going aggressively for your career, are you not going to see your friends as much? Will you have less family time? And as you start to map it out on the wall, you may see you've got loads of red on the wall, or loads of blue on the wall, or more green, or well balanced. And that will show you what's important to you. And then you can start ordering them around. Now, a lot of people overestimate what they can do in a year, and they underestimate what they can do in a lifetime. So as you start to organize your post-it notes with the things that are you, remember I said you are the director and the producer of your life. We're looking at what you love. We're looking at your skill. And we're looking at where you'll be compensated. So as you look at this, you may say, well, I want to do this, but it may have to go over to next year. I'd like to do this. It may have to go next year. At this point in my career, for example, when I'm looking at new, exciting educational events, I'm thinking, right, I want experiences now. So I'm having in my mind, I want to rent a chateau in France. I want to invite some hairdressers there and have an extraordinary, life-changing experience. I wanted to do it in 2024. I doubt that it will happen. Maybe 2025. It's still on my wish list, but I'm being practical about all the things it will take in order to make that happen. So when I start looking at planning my year, where is the return on that investment emotionally, spiritually, physically? Where is it nurturing? Where is it stretching me? Where is it stressing me? Some things we may go into and we go, oh my God, I didn't realize how hard that was until I got into it. I do a lot of live events now via Zoom and they're virtual events. And I'm going to give you a lovely little surprise at the end of this. So do stay to the end because we're going to be coming to the end in a moment as an invitation for you. So I've been thinking about these events that I do, and I was thinking to myself, what would happen if I had a few people actually come into my studio when I'm broadcasting so that they can be part of it, and then I can share with them one-to-one, and my mind starts to go. And then I say, okay, that's a great idea. How, why, when? Again, being realistic, because if I'm doing that, something has got to give in order to have that happen. I hope that makes sense. And I hope this really inspires you. So, light a candle, glass of wine, nice music, and just sit there with some Post-it notes and just purge out ideas and just think. And maybe this is something you're saying, well, Viv, I'm too busy right now to do this. But between Christmas and the New Year, maybe I can. Find that special time. Give yourself an hour. Give yourself 2 hours, because this is where you are designing your lifestyle and reversing your career into it. So I hope that makes sense. So the most important, most powerful statement that we can make is, I am ... So do you say to yourself, I am incredibly creative? Do you say, I am loving? Do you say, I am fun and playful? What is your I am? What is your story? I think that's so important to discover, because as we go on that path, we need to sort of say, okay, so what is your signature look? What is your signature look? What is it that makes you stand out in your market and makes you shine? What is that? Are you known for your gorgeous long hair? Are you known for your gorgeous short hair? What are you known for? So I just wanted to just let you know that we have a special offer that's happening, and it will expire at the very end of December, but we have a fabulous promotion taking place. So if you'd like me to coach you, if you'd like me to direct you, all you've got to do is go to the link, which we will put below. You can go to my website and you can actually see some of the great things that we're doing. But I have something else very special to share with you in a little moment. So hold on, don't go away. So what I wanted to share with you is this. Know your who before your how. Are you going to be known as, in your town, the color expert, the texture expert, the expert of long hair, short hair, makeovers? What do you want to be known for? What is your expertise, right? What is your expertise? Because that is your who, and this is your story. So in creating your story for 2024, is it financial growth? Is it to increase your creativity? Do you want stronger technical skills? Do you want to have that 5-star experience? What is that for you? The great thing is I can help you with any one of those things, because that is where my strengths lie, in the amazing amount of hairdressers that I've been able to help. So I have this very special gift I'd like to offer to you today. And this is, and it's limited to a certain amount of people each week. So you have to apply, but a VIP access to one of my virtual classes. And when you step into that world in my virtual class, what you're going to see is how I've helped so many hairdressers be transformed, how they've gone from, for the first time in their 30 years in the business, to a six-figure income, how they've increased their technical creative skills. So if this is something where you're saying, you know what, Viv, you've opened my eyes today. I'd never thought about designing my lifestyle and backing my career in. I haven't thought about an educational plan. I haven't thought about the next step. I'm just busy doing my thing and everything's good right now. But you know what it is like? Life goes up and down, right? And the more tools you have in your tool belt, the more you're prepared for the challenges that do come our way. I think we are the summation of the people that we hang out with. And so I invite you to be part of my community. I also invite you to share this with your friends so that we may help and serve so many other people. I thank you so much for being with me today. Please keep writing your comments, your questions below so that we can engage and interact with you. And I look forward to seeing you the next time online. Thank you so much and bye for now.